Welcome to episode 2 of the BEV Escapades podcast, which is also available on video if you want to watch the two of us goof around while we do this. Today we're going to flesh out our long-range trip to Colorado and give you a few more funny tidbits about how it went and what to do if you're driving an EV. So enjoy. Thanks for listening.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Hi. Hi, this is Wendell.
You're gonna have some great blooper reels. Alrighty, so hi, I'm Susan.
I'm Wendell.
And we just last weekend launched a video about our first long-range trip in this car to Colorado. We thought we'd talk a little bit more about it and give you some more details about long-range driving in an EV. So I guess I'll start and just say that I had lots of trepidation about are we gonna make it? Because my mindset is still with 20 years of driving a gas car. So I drove this van a little bit insane because I was really nervous about range. Are we going to make it? How often do we have to stop? Oh my God. we might not get there.
That's kind of how it was too. It was a lot of white-knuckled.
Well, as is, apparent since I said we did stop overnight, but we felt like we could drive straight through. But even with that, we stopped 11 times. Now it's 1,100 miles one way from our house to where we went.
Isn't that far?
Yeah, it's 1,100 miles one way. It's actually like 1076 to.
So basically, we stopped every 100 miles.
Well, that's what my point was going to be. That's what my point was going to be, because I was really nervous about. My philosophy has always been, if my car's at a quarter tank, I stop and I fill it. No.
Half.
No, not half. Anyway, but I never let my car go below a quarter tank of gas. So when we got this car, I said, don't ever let it go below a quarter of whatever the mileage is. Well, somebody doesn't believe in that scenario, so...
Tesla doesn't believe in that scenario. Because when you put in your route and your destination, the onboard computer will schedule or map it all for you. It'll tell you, okay, you're going to stop at this place and charge for 15 minutes. You're going to go on to the next spot and charge for 20 minutes. And it likes to bring the car down to as, like 10% charge.
Which is nerve-wracking. It's still a little nerve-wracking.
So, based on that, my sidekick here was like, oh no. There was a lot of, oh no, we're not going that low in the charge.
No.
So we improvised, and we took the plan that Tesla had put in and just added extra stops for ourselves for peace of mind.
Well, it's called trust. When you dial up all the maps and it shows you where you're going to supercharge. I mean, sometimes it says, 8%. Going like 8%, that's like 16 miles. I mean...
I think the lowest it went was like 5 or 6% on one.
Which, if you don't bite your nails, you're going to start.
Right.
But again, gas car mentality, an electric car doesn't work that way.
Well, it does. It works the same way.
Well, yeah, but not in your head. It just doesn't.
Not in your head.
No. But I mean, there's other, and I won't get into it because we took a different trip, but it, like the regen braking, we found ourselves in a situation one time where we had like 50 miles to go, but the car said it had 38 miles on it. You want to talk about somebody wanting to like ride on the outside of the car instead of the inside. That was really nerve-wracking, but that's kind of how this works, because as you're going up and down hills, the car will regenerate its own electricity. So the point I'm getting to is when you do dial up those maps, they're more accurate than what your brain thinks it is, coming from a gas car mentality.
Yeah. And you also have to take into account your driving style.
Right.
Because if it says you're going to have 10% of range left, and you're a type of driver that likes to just go really fast, you're going to have less when you get there.
Which is the same with gas. We're about to be interrupted because our daughter just pulled in her Model 3. Hello, Model 3 driver.
Hi.
See, there she is now.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Where were we?
We were in Trustville.
Right. So your driving style does have a lot to do with your range, because like the range that they state for when you buy an EV or any car. When you buy any car, it has your EPA, or for a gas car, your 30 miles per gallon, or an EV, you got 250 miles of range or 300 miles of range or whatever.
Right.
And that is very determinant on how you drive.
Mm-hmm.
If you drive, kind of standardly, and you don't do jackrabbit starts, because EVs are so fun to drive, and they go very fast and they take off very fast, and it's a lot of fun, it's definitely going to impact your range, just like it would in a gas car. You're going to get less miles per gallon in your gas car if you like to punch it all the time, or go fast. You go really fast.
If you go 100 miles an hour in a gas car, you're not going to get the same mileage.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
But it was just a tough concept taking off. So yes, so he accommodated me by stopping more often than we probably needed to do.
All the time. No.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it was the nice thing about that is when we stopped, we got out, we stretched our legs, we went to the bathroom, maybe got a snack, hugged the dinosaur.
Well, I also said in the video that we brought cards and different things to keep us occupied, but even being low on charge, we never stopped long enough to play a hand of rummy or anything like that. We stopped one time long enough to make a sandwich, and that, what was that, 30 minutes maybe?
Right. There was one stretch of road between Utah and Colorado through like some mountainous areas.
Mountains or canyons?
Something that had, I want to say we were, because this is an older car and doesn't have as much range as some of the newer cars, it was suggesting that I drive slower.
Right. To make it to the next spot. But, and even so, and I didn't really drive any slower. Nope.
And we got there without any problems at all. Nope. Nope.
No, we got everywhere just fine. We really did. And never really worried about making the next stop or wondering where the next stop was going to be. And again, I said it in the video, but there are superchargers everywhere. Now, if you drove a car other than a Tesla, I don't know how that would work out for you, because we only saw, and of course they're not always side by side, but we did see in, was that Baker?
Baker.
Where they had 8 or 10 Electrify America chargers. And one poor little Rivian truck charging, and that was it. Everybody else was a Tesla, and there were like 40 or 50 Tesla stalls. But I don't remember seeing another Electrify America.
I don't either.
On the entire road, but we didn't search them out.
Right, we didn't look for them. I know there are some on the freeways, but they're not nearly as prevalent or as easy to find or as...
Right. So if you're not in a Tesla, you might have a more difficult time or have to get further off the beaten path than you would if you drove a Tesla.
Yeah, it is a little bit more difficult to find chargers.
Yeah.
And without getting into the weeds and digressing too far, the Electrify America charging stations are fraught with, they might have 4 charges they might have 4 charging stalls or machines, but 2 of them might not be working.
Yeah, that's notorious.
It's a problem with a lot of the other charging systems.
Yeah.
But eventually all the other cars are going to be able to use the Tesla system.
Eventually.
Yeah, Ford can do it. Ford can do it now. For most of them, there's some of the chargers. I think in the main, in the city, I think it's mostly freeways that Fords can use the superchargers. I think you get into some of the rural areas that I don't think they can't because they're so busy,
right.
And they don't want to, take away from the Tesla owners. But the freeway ones are mostly available for Ford now, which is great for them.
And again, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you're traveling, I mean, especially on the West Coast, they're everywhere.
Yeah, especially California, because this is where it started.
Right. But they're, even as we got up through Utah and Colorado, we never had an issue with any of that. Nevada either.
Yeah.
The only time we ever had problems in Nevada is with the hotel system, because the hotel systems don't necessarily have the charging systems installed in the hotels.
Right.
But I'm digressing from our trip to Colorado. But going back to what you said before, in stopping that much, we really felt like we could drive all the way. We were rested. We weren't, you don't have like your butt's not falling asleep. You're not. I've taken trips in the Expedition where you run that gas tank almost, quarter tank. And you feel like your whole lower body is asleep.
Is numb.
Or dead.
Yeah. Because then you jump out, you spend 5 minutes gassing up, you jump back in and you go.
Mm-hmm. As you're wiping the gas off your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like that is a real bonus to having an EV. Like, you don't have to smell any fumes, you don't have to subject yourself to gas on your hands, you don't have to smell all that stuff. Plus, I also said in the video, we have a huge HEPA filter in this car. So there's no, like, passing off a truck. You're not sucking diesel fumes. That was really lovely, because a lot of that area coming up the 15 as you're headed out of where we live, the 15 freeway, is truck route. So every other vehicle is an 18-wheeler, and we never once had any issue with any kind of gas smell or anything in the car, which is really a positive note.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice to not have to smell the...
Plus, there's no sound.
Right.
So, like, and you don't really realize it until you drive your electric car a little bit, and then you hop back into a gas car. But this car's silent. So you can hear everything going on. Well, it's pretty soundproof too, but you can hear things going on that you wouldn't in a gas car just because you have that underlying engine noise all the time. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, granted, there is wind noise.
Yeah, a little bit.
And tire noise from the wheels on the pavement.
Yeah.
But without that engine noise, it's usually a lot easier to carry on a conversation while we're driving.
Yeah, or take video.
Video.
Or whatever you happen to be doing. Plus, we have this huge windshield, so you can see. We drove sometimes at night, and you have a full-on view of the stars and the sky. I mean, it's pretty spectacular.
A lot of EVs have a bigger
windows.
Bigger sunroof or moonroof or whatever you want to call it. They have a lot of glass on the top. The Model 3 and the Model Y both have a lot of glass on the top.
Yeah.
And the Model X has this great big front windshield, just like the Cybertruck does, has a great big front windshield.
Yeah. So.
Which is nice because it's got a lot of viewing area in this car. But a lot of the newer EVs have that glass on top, which is nice. It's nice to be able to see around and have extra viewage.
Well, extra sights too, because as you hit the road, you forget if you spend a lot of time at home and you don't actually get in the car and travel. Like, I've come cross country more times than I'd like to admit, and I don't really ever want to do it again.
Too.
But as we headed off, you forget. I mean, the flatlands around here turn into beautiful evergreen mountains, and then canyons, and like you said, we hugged a dinosaur. We wandered into Watermelon Days, which was really kind of comical. In
That was funny.
Green River, Utah, right?
I think.
It's Green River, yep. And then some of the most adorable little towns as you're coming through the mountains in Colorado, like old-time kind of looking.
It's like an old miner town or something. It was...
Gold Mine, probably. Gold.
What was that? Something Springs?
I don't remember the names of the little towns, but they're like things that you think are probably extinct. But you wander into this, oh wow, it's like an old little western town. Pretty interesting. We saw military transports. We saw, I hate to say, giant cattle grounds with hundreds of thousands of cows. And we saw strawberry fields and all kinds of agriculture going. I mean, it was pretty amazing. Like I said, you just kind of take for granted when you're home until you get out on the road and you can see what's going on. You really kind of take stuff for granted.
Yeah, it's
You don't
nice
realize what's going on.
It's nice to get out and drive the country,
Right.
and see the different areas and territories.
Without polluting anything.
Right.
But it is really an extraordinary country.
It is. Yeah.
It really is. If you have an opportunity to get in the car and
So diverse from...
travel a few hundred miles somewhere, do it, because it's it just makes you appreciate the country that you live in.
Right, from barren deserts, and we're blessed in a spot where we can drive an hour and be in the mountains and play in the snow,
Yep.
and then drive an hour in the other direction and be on the beach. So we could be in the snow and then on the beach all in the same day,
If we choose to.
if we
yeah.
chose to. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
So
just
nice.
the diversity of the country. It's pretty
Yeah.
great.
So, anyway, what else on a long range trip would you suggest to someone?
I just do it. Just do it.
Right. I don't think there's any other, downside to taking an EV as opposed to a gas car on a long range trip. I really don't. And take it from one who is exceptionally nervous about making it. I'm not that way anymore, really. Although I do still like the quarter tank.
I should change that to a percentage instead of
Oh
miles.
God. Yeah. So, if you're new to your EV, take it for a long trip.
And if you're thinking about an EV, don't sweat it.
Yeah.
Road
No.
trips, well, especially in a Tesla,
Right.
road trips are easy.
Right. And this car, like I said, top end 210 mileage on the
Right.
car.
It's an older,
So I know people freak out about, oh my God, I can't get a car that's 200 miles on an EV. I'll never make it anywhere. It's not true.
Make it everywhere.
You can make it everywhere. You really can. So give it a try. You won't be disappointed. Anything else you want to add
I don't think
from
so.
our trip?
No, it was good. Like you said, it was really nice. It was just such a nice drive, and we got to, like you mentioned, that we really weren't tired
No.
because we stopped so often.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
And rested and stretched, and it was, every time you stop, it wakes you up. It's not like a
Yeah.
race there, fill it up real quick.
No, and it's
Race
also
on.
a testament to how many Tesla superchargers there are that
True.
we were able to actually stop that often. I mean,
Right. I think I want to say that the map, when it planned it out, had us stopping 7 times, maybe 8. Probably, I think it was 7. 7 sounds right. But we stopped much more frequently.
And he was looking at me funny, isn't he? Anyway. All right. Well, we'll do another video about all the different superchargers. And I didn't want to bore everybody the first time around. I only did 3, I think. Maybe 4. But I'll do a quickie run through of all the different superchargers we went to, because we kind of rated them as we went.
Back in my beardo day.
Oh my God, yeah, I had a
Beard.
yeah. And the rest of our trip next time around. So stay tuned and come back and visit us, and thanks for listening today. Bye. Push those buttons.
Once again, thanks for listening and watching. If you're on YouTube, please give us a like and a subscribe, and come back and visit us for more real life in an EV. See you next time.